So project update, I'll run you through the changes in the last couple days. One, now that I know exactly where the corner of the building is going to be, I relocated this conduit for the electrical. But I got a little bit to dig out here. There's a reason I'm leaving it full. But basically these will go bang right into that corner, and that's where the main electrical panel will be. Additionally, all the perimeter footings are dug. Just thinking which way I can face here. This is probably the best way. So that perimeter footing is dug. It's more or less 18 inches from the surface. Again, 24 inches below finished floor. But there's still a little bit of hand digging and trimming. You can see this one was pretty tough. Trying to cut with the trencher and keep a line. I got a little bit out, which means I'm going to have to build it back up a little bit and cut a little bit more on the inside. And so a lot of this stuff is hand trim. So I'm still using the mini excavator a little bit, but I returned the trencher. So the trencher is fast and it cuts really nice, but it's very difficult to see while you're in the machine. You really have no perception of what's behind you. So it really takes two people to run. And so I did a lot of the two-person work with that, and now I'm onto the mostly one person. So again, perimeter footings looking good. Got a lot of hand trimming, you know, a lot of neatening up to do before we can do forms. And I've got to really finalize the final depth, and then I'm going to wet all this interior and vibrate compact it. And then here are some of the center footings that are going in. So these I found, I started to dig with the excavator, but it's really tough to keep a straight line on these. So kind of what I wanted to do was just get an outline of it, fill it with water, get it kind of loose, and then I'm going to clean this up and come through and paint the exact shape, and then hopefully get a clean dig. Right now it's kind of dusty, and so I'll do a little dig, and like the paint just disappears, kind of gets rolled up in the mix. Same with this one. This is that 50-inch footing, and this is the other footing. And again, the purpose of these footings, normally these wouldn't need to be here. It would have just been perimeter only. The purpose of these is to support the second level living. And so these are work in progress. Like a couple of these. This one is not only a perimeter, it actually there's a cutout, so I have to do some measurements, but this is going to have a larger footing. It's not just going to come to this corner. That's why that end's already cut out a little bit. This is going to be cut away, but kind of the same plan with those. You know, I'm going to come through and clean this up and paint it and get a really precise line on it. This rock is going to be trouble, but it's okay. It's just something that got slightly outside the over X. You know, the over X was I'm going to say like right about here. So this one was just outside of the big grading job. And so it's hard to see it right now. But this is going to be a jackhammer rock. I'm going to jackhammer it. It needs to go about another 8 to 10 inches down. So I'm going to jackhammer 8 to 10 inches of granite. It'll work. And then here, this pop out is all cut in. So the purpose of this pop out here, this little section, is the foyer. So the stairs will come straight down, and there wasn't going to be quite enough room for really a landing, and so this is the pop out. So that's in there. Again, a lot of hand trimming need to be done. And then I started these pier footings that are for the deck. So these, because they're so small, it doesn't really make sense to try to use a machine, because by the time I start to use the machine, I'm going to end up outside the lines. And so these are going to be hand dig. There'd be 7 of them, but there's actually going to be 6 due to the rock becoming a footing. So that's kind of nice. So each one of them are a different shape, and they're pulled. This line's not straight right now, but this line was pulled to locate them. And so each one of these will be, again, 24 inches below finished floor, or I believe 28 or 26. I don't remember the exact number. I got a long way to dig before I'm worried about the final depth. But these will be just hand dug, hand dug, hand dug, hand dug. In fact, I'm kind of flooding them right now. Looks like I got one that's full. So I'm going to transfer my hose over here. This stuff is exceptionally hard to dig when it's dry. So that one I'm going to keep an eye on. That one I overdid a little. Matter of filling that one up, so it's good. So each of these will be a hand dig, and I'll show you. I'm just hand digging them, putting them in that wheelbarrow over there, carting them over to the skip loader. But check this out. I mean, see this shovel? I'm gonna nail the ground as hard as I can. It just bounces off. I mean, that's the extent of what it did. So this pad was good and compacted, and it's hard, and that's really good for a foundation, but not for digging. So just check this difference on that one that I overdid right here. When it's wet, watch this. It's like nice and easy to dig. And so the only real way to hand dig this stuff that's practical is either you straight jackhammer it out, or you get it wet and use a lot of water. So they're taking turns, each one, you know, this one, this one, this one, this one. And then dig it, fill the wheelbarrow, and I'll walk over there right now. I'm gonna shut this water off because it's quitting time for me. I gotta do my job. But yeah, it's hard labor, but it's getting there. It's definitely progressing. So I'm just gonna shut this hose off real quick and just do a little sneak peek here. So you can see all this dirt's all hand dug. That's why it's so nice and dark, because it's all wet. So that's like, once it gets wet, you know, this is what I got to work with. When it's dry though, it's dusty. So just load it in there. That'll take probably a full 8-hour day to get those done. But making progress.